Hey gang, it's Dylan from EatWild, and in this video, I want to show you how to track and pick up a blood trail after you've shot an animal. So this is November 12th, and I've just taken a shot at a small white-tailed buck, and the first thing I did is I just hung out there for a little while. Then about 20 minutes to half an hour, just after you've shot, just to allow the process allow the deer to carry on and pass away on its own. You don't want to go chasing up the hill and then have an injured animal take off. So a lot of times if you hit them well, they're going to go and die right away. If you maybe hit them a little bit far back, or if they go and bed down for half an hour, they might bleed out and pass away. So it's always a good idea to give it some time. All right, so the first thing I do after I shoot is I mark where I shot from, and I'll show you that here in a sec. So if you look just down below there, you'll see a piece of pink flagging tape flap around from a tree. That's where I shot from. So after I shot, I marked the tree, and I also did compass bearing in the direction of where the deer was standing when I shot it. So he was just sort of up in between a couple of these trees up here. So I did compass bearing to that location so that I could walk in a straight line to where I shot at the animal. So I'm halfway up there, so I'll carry on and I'll see what we see when we get up there. So I'm pretty sure he was standing right about here somewhere. I recognize this one tree that's bent over, and I marked that from where I shot from. I could see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start looking around on the ground to see if there's any sign of an animal being shot. So naturally you'd be looking for blood, anything like that. But really, a lot of times you won't find blood right away, but what you will find, you see this here? You see that's a real heavy trail right there. You can just see where some sticks have been kicked up. And there's another one here. Well, it's right fresh, and deer don't make tracks like that unless they've been scared away or shot at, I guess. I keep kind of looking along here. I'm looking for any sign of blood, anything like that. Hair too. Sometimes you'll find a big tuft of hair because if you hit them, you'll put a hole in them, obviously, and a bit of hair will fly out the other side. Now there's a really good sign there. That's a real heavy track, so it's a good sign. At least I know which direction he went. So now I can kind of sort of see that he probably ran down in that direction down there. Because I've got the first few steps here, and that lines up with what I saw. So the next thing I'll do is I'll hang a piece of flagging tape, say from this stick right here, because it's exactly where I shot at him. I'm sorry, where he was standing when I shot at him. So I got a bit of information to start figuring out where he went next. So I've marked the spot where he was standing when I shot him. And I got a good sign down here because I've got a real heavy set of tracks here exiting the area. So I feel really good about finding out the starting point for tracking. And you'll notice here, I'd like to see a big pile of blood here and a bunch of hair, but a lot of times you won't see that. And in this case, I certainly don't see anything here, and I've done a couple circles and kind of worked my way around this spot, looking around for any sign of blood or hair or such. All right. So the next step is I'm going to just follow the tracks and see if they lead to anything that looks a little bit more like blood or whatnot. Okay. There's another track there. That's a good sign. And I see another one up here. That's a good sign. Hopefully I'm going to start seeing blood eventually. Oh, there's a good sign. See a bunch of hair there. There we go. Excellent. Okay, that's a good sign. Good chance it is got a hole in them. Now I just like to see some blood. So I found some distinct sign here, so I'm just going to put a piece of flagging tape and just lay it down here on the ground or tie it off to a stick nearby. Just to keep track of the sign that I've found so far. Let's work my way along. Okay, there's more. Oh, this is looking good. Over here, there's a whole bunch of blood. Okay. Excellent. So that's a good sign. All right. And that's quite a bit of blood too, so I think we're going to be able to find this guy. Yeah, more down here. Okay. Now sometimes you'll find just a spot of blood here and there, and I'm really careful to basically mark every spot of blood, because sometimes it's really hard to pick up the direction they're going, and if you have a few pieces of flagging tape lined up, you can really get a good idea of where they're going. Now here's another nice big heavy track, so I really want to see these tracks sort of look more like skid marks than footprints, because it means he's starting to lose control, which hopefully he's down and out. Yeah, there's lots of sign here, another big crash spot here. More blood. Eventually we're gonna come over a ridge here, and you can sort of see down here there's a bit of a ridge and then an area that he might be piled up down there. It's always a good idea to take a real close look before you go down there, just in case he's still alive, eh? He might just be bedded down, and that's a good place to look. So I'm just going to do that now. So I've had a real careful look down there to see if I could spot him, either bedded down looking at me, hurt bad, or ideally just dead. But I don't see him yet, so I'm going to keep working my way down and see what you find and keep following this blood trail. There's this blood trail there. Some blood there. Now which way did he go? I see blood over here. Oh, looks like he kind of went uphill. Okay. That's always a bit of a concern when you see blood going uphill, because it means it's always best if they're going downhill. Whoops. It's always best if they're, you see the blood trail going downhill, because they take the path of least resistance when they're hurt bad. So he sort of jogged over here and he's side hilling, which is a bit concerning. But I think there's enough blood on the ground here that we're going to find him pretty quick. Once they lose enough blood, they start losing their motor control. And basically they're starting to die, and they start to bump into stuff and kind of lose the ability to steer. And you can see it now kind of, he's still managing to hang on to this trail here. And it's surprising how far these guys can go despite their injuries. Okay, and here's a really interesting thing. You can see the blood on this stick here. You know, we're always fixated on looking for blood on the ground, but a lot of times you'll find blood on the sticks and brush and stuff that they push their way through. That's a good example of it there. He's still going here. Oh, I can see a deer head there. Okay, now you can see down below there. See a deer laying in the grass there, so he's down. That's good news. Okay. And I want to make sure. I mean, they can really tell from here he's dead, but if he's still kicking, you might want to stop and take another shot at him. All right, let's get a whitetail. A little basket buck. And oh, cute little guy. There you go. Okay, you can see, so I shot him, that's the out hole, just behind his shoulder there. So you can see the color of the blood there is a bit frothy and milky. That's usually lung blood, so that's a good lung shot. So I mean, it's really amazing how far these guys will go with both lungs gone and having suffered pretty major shock. But anyways, perfect little deer. We've been hunting here for quite a few days. I missed out on a real nice one last night, just ran out of light and didn't have an ethical shot, and so I'll take this one today and start thinking about going home. Well, thank you very much. This is a wonderful little deer and a real gift, and looking forward to getting this one home and in the freezer, and yeah, right on. Okay, well, see you guys next time on Eat Wild.